Hi, inside gamers, gamesters, and gamies. This is July, your host of this podcast. I want to apologize up front. This season premiere of episode of my show was supposed to be a silly episode. And while I don't feel like being silly right now, I do want to make a point and say I can be silly, but choose not to. Again, for the record, I still can be silly. You're probably wondering, why am I releasing an episode right now instead of taking the week off? And I want to say to that I would rather take the week off, but contractually I cannot skip this week since I do have a paid ad. Another podcast bought ad space for this episode, so I have to put something out. I actually haven't heard the podcast yet because I haven't had time, but I'm sure you will hear a snippet of it sometime during the show. I don't know when. I was taking a long time to release this episode in particular because I was able to snag a huge guest. Nora from Queens, herself. Aquafina was supposed to be my guest, but she canceled last minute because she wanted to take time to craft a message to her Instagram follows. And I totally understand that. It's a good message that Aquafina took 72 hours to craft. It's school time, everyone. And I know that may sound boring, but it's actually good. School time means listening, learning, and growing. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsor.
Love the sex talk. It's great. Now we're going to share some of our craziest places we've had sex. Okay. Do you want to start, Allie?
Yeah, I'll start. Should I do... Okay, I'll start with like the craziest place.
All right.
So it was with this guy and our friends were actually hooking up and we left to go get food. And I was giving him advice on his like ex-girlfriend. And then he just... we get our food. We're walking back to the apartment and he just pushes me up against a wall and starts making out with me. And it was not going there at all. Like, there was I didn't feel anything. I was just, like, totally taken off guard. And then I'm just like, whoa, okay, I'm into this, you know? And we just start, like, really making out. He puts his hand down my pants, and I'm like, oh, shit. Like, we're literally on Sunset Boulevard by the Waffle. Like, on Sunset Boulevard. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he just, like, brings me to the side of the Waffle where that, like there's, like, the stairway. Mm-hmm. And just bends me over and starts banging me against the Waffle. And I'm like, what the hell? And then we see like all these cars and we're like, okay, fuck. So we run. We go to like we start walking back. We go to Hollywood Boulevard. So I'm on Hollywood Boulevard on the stars. And this kid bends me over again against a fucking like restaurant door. And meanwhile, it's like 6 a.m, okay? And so we're like fucking it out. It was so hot, bro. Like he was so attractive and it was just blowing my mind.
That is LA right there.
And then I'm just like looking
stars.
down. I'm like, I see stars. I'm getting banged by a hottie. Like, this is fucking great. And then we hear, excuse me. I turn around and it's this guy trying to open the restaurant.
Oh my God.
My pants are around my ankles. This guy's dick is out. And we're just like, yeah, sorry. We like pull our shit together. And we're still standing there, and he, like, opens the restaurant and walks in, closes the door, starts taking down all the chairs. And I look at the guy, and he looks at me, and I'm like, and I just bend back over against the door. It's a glass door. So I just bend back over, and he just, like, is like, fuck it, yeah. And just starts banging me again. And we literally bang until we both finish while this guy is just, like,
looking at you still
taking down the chairs. And then we both like finish, we just die laughing, we run away, and I never spoke to the guy again.
Admit the truth of what's happening. All the Joaquin Phoenixes out there are making it bad out there. Pay attention to tweets. News should be called the olds because it's not showing the real deal stuff like tweets. I want to shout out the protesters. I am not physically doing that, but I am supporting with donations of amount that I will not say. And I want to be honest to listeners. I'm not at the protests not because of the pandemic, but because my mom put a curfew on me. And I'm not talking about Mayor Garcetti's curfew. I'm not calling him my mom. I'm talking about my real mom. I love my mom. And I'm currently living under her roof because of pandemic. So she put a curfew on me when Corona started to protect ourselves. I also want to say, as a person of color, that I want to shout out to all the white podcasters who are calling out their racist uncles, aunts, cousins, second cousins, Reddit cousins, Reddit aunts, Reddit uncles, racist Reddits this past week. Thank you, especially to the brave white hosts of Jizz City, who admitted about 30 minutes into their 2-hour special episode, Sunday chat time, for using their platform to tell me and their listeners to listen to other shows. Don't be listening to Jizz City. Listen to other voices that matter. And for Jizz City, I want to shout them out again for recommending op-eds, important op-eds that they actually haven't finished reading and didn't want to read on the show, even though it was 2 hours long episode, because they think it's important for people to read, and they don't want to read to you because they are not an audiobook. They are podcast. So instead of continuing and doing a regular episode of my show, I'm going to play a classic of my show, episode 1, the episode that started it all. And I want to be clear and say police are bad, Black Lives Matter, and mayors are dumb. Thank you, and go to tweets.com to learn and educate and go to school and keep on gaming. Hey everybody, welcome to Inside Gaming, Inside Video Gaming with your host July Diaz. I'm here to talk about the 20th anniversary of Pepsi Man. I've actually never played Pepsi Man because it's a Japan exclusive video game that came out in 1999. And I don't have access to a Japanese PlayStation, but, just watching clips online, it looks like a lot of fun. You are playing as the Pepsi mascot, Pepsi Man, who's sort of like a metallic figure without a face, sort of running, jumping over obstacles in locations like San Francisco and New York City. At one point you're being chased by a giant can of Pepsi. That looks like a lot of fun. A little nod to Indiana Jones, if you ever seen that. But in that movie, of course, it was a boulder. It wasn't a Pepsi can. I'm not much of a fan of Pepsi myself. I'm more of a Coke guy, so, would love the Coke version of this game. Maybe a Coca-Cola woman, maybe. But yeah, I'd love to see an HD remake of this. Maybe, port it over to the Switch, which I doubt that, though, because this is a PlayStation exclusive. But yeah, check it out if you can. Pepsi Man, 20 years. Talk to you next week.
Ah, Pepsi Man, you got here just at the perfect time. I got a call that a vending machine ahead ran out of Pepsi, and I was just on my way there when I got a flat tire. There are a bunch of people gathered in front of the vending machine. They want Pepsi, and the word is that they're just about to riot. I plan to head over there as soon as I can fix this flat, but it looks like it's gonna take some time. Can't you do something, Pepsi Man?